Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Philippine College of Physicians warns that the ICU beds in Metro Manila are getting full yet again. But the health department says that the ICU bed utilization in the capital is now at low-risk category. Let's make more sense of these numbers with Private Hospitals Association, or PHAPI President Dr. Jose De Grano, who joins us now live via Zoom. Good afternoon, Dr. De Grano. First off, I want to know what your latest data says about ICU bed occupancy, at least for private hospitals. How's it going?
Yes, I know that actually the COVID cases in the NCR area has gone down, and they are saying that some of the ICU beds are still full. But when we ask some of the big hospitals, they are saying that they are full, but mostly for non-COVID cases.
All right, so what do you think, Doc, caused the supposed discrepancy? I guess these are discrepancies in the figures on hospitalization rate. Do you think there's a delay that figures in somewhere here in reporting?
Well, probably that's one cause, but if you note, there is really a decrease in the number of cases in the NCR area. But of course, in other areas, in other regions, there is an upsurge already.
That's right. So I'm going to ask you that next. How serious is the situation of our COVID hospitals right now, especially those in hotspots outside Metro Manila? And what should the government be doing about this that they haven't already done?
Actually, it's a little bit serious in there because there are a lot of regions that are being affected. Northern Luzon, even Region 4. Now it's even Region 5. The Albay and Sorsogon are affected. And then the Visayas region, Northern, Mindanao, even Davao are affected. Even Cotabato have a surge of cases. So I think what the government should do is, of course, send some augmentation forces, and then probably in Mindanao and Visayas areas, and of course equipment if they are still needed. But you know, the facilities in these regions are only a few, and probably they can establish more isolation areas or isolation facilities in these regions.
Right, so can we then categorically say, Dr. De Grano, that the variants indeed cost more and severe critical cases, which of course lead to longer hospitalization periods for at least some patients? Or if not, what other factors come in play here?
I think the most important factor here is probably the complacency of the people, you know? Because if you will note, these regions came from MGCQ, or a very relaxed quarantine areas. And so that may have contributed a lot in the spread of the infection. And then another thing is, of course, non-observance, of course, non-observance of the people. And then, of course, what we should do is to look into the variants, of course, because they have very high transmissibility rates. And you know, the people should also and local government units should be good in implementing the minimum health standards in these areas.
Right. So thank you for weighing in on that, Dr. De Grano. Now, I wanted to get your reaction to treatment czar Leopoldo de Vega's statement that people can actually now ditch face shields outdoors, of course, under certain conditions, like when the face shields are getting in the way of worker safety or posing a danger to some commuters from the moisture that forms in front. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, probably in some jobs that require that you have a better view of what you're doing. But then I think that the most important thing here is these face shields. The face shields still contribute a lot in the prevention of the spread of disease. This will have additional protection for the person who is wearing it. It's not only in the hospitals that you should wear the face shields, but even outside. But of course, if it will interfere in the work that you are doing, then of course you can probably take it off whenever you are working temporarily.
All right. Thank you so much for all your insights, Dr. De Grano. That was Dr. Jose De Grano, the president of the Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines, joining us via Zoom. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Sean.
And like we have reported, treatment czar Leopoldo Vega says that the wearing of face shields is not required under certain conditions. In today's Laging Handa briefing, the Vega said that people can or may ditch face shields outdoors or in areas with proper ventilation. Vega explained that this will prevent accidents, particularly among workers, as face shields may impair one's visions due to moisture. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire backed Vega's statement, saying that it has always been the standing policy. However, Vergeire did note that the IATF allows local government units to implement stricter COVID-19 protocols.
Pag nasa outside naman kasi alam naman natin ang risk of transmission is very low at lalo-lalo na pag naglalakad ka lang sa kalye o kaya nagtatrabaho ka kasi maka-affect yung moist nito. So pwede nyo tanggalin.
And the Health Department has reported over 5,400 new COVID-19 cases on Wednesday. Some 56,000 of the current 1.3 million COVID-19 case count are still considered active. The death toll, meanwhile, has surpassed 23,000, with 158 new fatalities confirmed overnight. On the flip side, some 7,600 new recoveries were logged in the last 24 hours. And the Transportation Department is coming up with ways to avoid COVID-19 transmission in public transportation. For the details, we have Gerard De La Peña joining us live from Mandaluyong City. Hi, Gerard. What is the game plan of the DOTr so far, at least for this?
Well, Sean, the Transportation Department is eyeing to increase the capacity of public utility buses. And this was after reports of long lines at the Ortigas busway station last week. In an online press briefing, Transportation Secretary Arthur Togade said that the DOTR's road sector officials are now looking for ways to increase passenger capacity in buses by 5 to 10%. Togade said this will be done gradually in consideration of public safety. Buses are currently allowed to operate at 50% capacity to ensure physical distancing among passengers. Just last week, photos of long lines along the Ortigas station of the EDSA busway went viral. Commuters did not have much room to follow this physical distancing. Togade, however, said that the incident was just due to heavy rains that caused traffic jams along EDSA. Aside from increasing bus capacity, the DOTr is also in talks with bus operators to ensure a sufficient number of units that will fly the route. The DOTr is also looking at expanding its free ride initiative to other modes of transportation aside from the buses. Sean, the DOTR's free ride program is made possible by the 5 billion peso budget for the service contracting program under the Bayanihan 2 law. Now, given that the law is about to expire, officials said that even if this law will not be extended, the DOTr said that still has enough budget to push through with the project. Sean.
All right, thank you for that update. Stay safe out there. Gerard De La Peña joining us live from Mandaluyong City. We'll have more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Another PDP Laban National Assembly is slated for July, but one leader of the ruling party says he is begging off as early as now. Let's discuss that further with Manlis Baños, who reports to us live from Rizal. Man, why the early rejection from Senator Coco?
Hi, Sean. Good afternoon. PDP Laban Executive Vice Chairman and Senator Coco Pimentel said this early that he won't show up at the National Assembly of the party on July 17, saying that the said meeting is, quote, unauthorized. Pimentel told reporters that he had already cautioned PDP Laban Vice Chairman Alfonso Cusi against calling for assemblies, but to no avail. The senator emphasized that the admin party should first ensure that all members have complied with basic membership requirements. Pimentel also told his party mates to stick with their ideology and not to be involved in personality-based politics. Once again, he insisted that PDP Laban has enough talented people. Hence, there's no longer a need to tap outsiders. Pimentel then called on the ruling party to support party chairman and Senator Manny Pacquiao, regardless of which post he will gun for in the 2022 elections. Recall that Pacquiao had been kept in the dark in previous PDP Laban meetings. As for President Duterte's possible vice presidential bid, Pimentel is doubtful since the chief executive has already reached the highest position in the land. Sean, Senator Pimentel said that the best time for them to call for a National Assembly is on the last week of August or first week of September. This will give them enough time to prepare for the filing of the certificate of candidacy in October. Sean?
Thanks for that update from Rizal. That was News 5's Manlis Baños. Thanks, man. Let's move on now to other stories we're keeping our eyes on. The Supreme Court has junked the motion for bail or house arrest of pork barrel mastermind Janet Lim Napoles. In a decision, the court found no compelling reason to consider the release of Napoles on humanitarian grounds. Napoles had sought a temporary release from detention for fear of contracting COVID-19. And around 1,000 Filipinos have been repatriated from Myanmar amid the civil unrest in the Southeast Asian nation. Philippine Ambassador to Myanmar Eduardo Capunan said that around 600 Filipinos are still in Myanmar as of now. And the Tourism Department says that tourists from the NCR Plus bubble may now travel to Boracay until June 30. Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat made this clarification on the back of reports that some tourism stakeholders are unaware of the relaxed travel restrictions. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.